Hey, this is Dale Snacker, the social media influencer here at Special Picks, Kansas. It's been a legend in its own right. Former Kansas City Chief, defensive lineman, and Kansas City Chief ambassador, Bill Maas. How are you doing today?
Great, Daniel. It's great to be here with you on this Red Wednesday, getting ready for the kickoff of the NFL season with the Chiefs and Ravens.
For Red Wednesday, we want to ask you some questions about how was your time as the Chief and the Chiefs ambassador.
Yeah, so wow, that's a lot. I mean, going back to my playing days, it's always special this time of year thinking about the new season and all the feelings you used to get and how excited we would get to be able to go out there in the field and play for the Chiefs. Um, it was a great time in my life and an experience that carried over into life after football. You carry those values with you forever. Um, Part of those are all the things we did in the community when I was a player. So it's an easy transition to being a Chiefs ambassador, working with the team still, and going out into the public and filling the needs and doing the things that all requests are comes through the Chiefs. We help out with their community outreach.
Yes, tell us what it is like being a Kansas City Chiefs ambassador.
Yeah, so that's some of the transition over. There's 56 of us former players that all live here in Kansas City that played for the Chiefs and live here, made Kansas City their home, which is pretty unique for an NFL city. And the amazing thing about it is not one of those people were born in Kansas City. So it's all transplants, and we got attached to the city through the Chiefs and made our homes here. And so I think that says a lot about Kansas City and the people that make up Kansas City. And being the ambassadors group, we go out into the community and do things like Red Wednesday, or we go to, hospital visits. We do charitable events and fundraisers for the youth of Kansas City, and part of that was instilled in us as players to try to give back to the community what they gave to us through all the support.
And definitely, and this is someone everyone will probably want to know. What was your favorite memory as a Chief?
Oh, Daniel, man, I don't know. There's so many of them. You know, I think one was getting drafted. I mean, that was a really great time in a young man's life, and then helping the team turn the corner and getting to the playoffs for the first time in 15 years and building off of that. And when Marty Schottenheimer came on board, it just seemed that every year we got a little bit better and a little bit better, and we were always in the playoffs and taking the next step. So those memories I'll never forget.
And talking about the draft, and tell us about your draft experience here.
On the draft, getting drafted. So yeah, it was a while ago, but you never forget that feeling when they call your name, and it was in the first round and the fifth pick overall, and it was thrilling to say the least, and that they thought that much of me that they wanted to take me at that spot and to help them get better as a team. And we did get better. It was 2 years after that we were in the playoffs, and my teammates and the guys that I got to go through that with, those are relationships and bonds I'll have and hold dear to my heart forever.
Yes. What wa- what was your favorite NFL player
Who
from
is my fa- who is my favorite player now?
growing up?
Growing up. Okay. Ooh. So yeah, there was a couple. Um, man, I grew up in Philadelphia, and so I followed the Eagles closely, and there was um, a guy by the name of Bill Berge, who was a middle linebacker, and he was really the force for that team then. And then I went to the University of Pittsburgh, and then we I just got so involved with the Steelers, and they won those four Super Bowls. So I got to meet a lot of those guys playing for the University of Pittsburgh right there in Pittsburgh. So I got to meet some great players like Franco Harris, and the interactions we've had with Mike Webster, who later on became a teammate of mine. But to have those interactions with those guys as a young man growing up and seeing them and watching them on television, watching them win Super Bowls is really impactful on a young life.
And how are you all feeling about this upcoming Kansas City Chiefs season?
I'm thinking three-peat like everybody else is, right? I mean, they've got the guys to do it, and um, and they've got a mindset about them that is really cool to watch because when you see them play, and we've watched them over the last 5 years, we see a group of guys that they buy into the team concept. There's a lot of superstars on that team, but they all kind of put their egos in check and they focus on one thing, and that one thing is that team wins. And I think that says a lot about the team, the character of the guys that make up the team, and of course, all stemming from head coach Andy Reid.
Definitely. And what excites you about Special Olympics Kansas? And do you have a message for the Special Olympics Kansas athletes?
Do I have a group of athletes that what? I didn't get that. I'm sorry.
What excites you about Special Olympics? And do you have a message for the athletes?
Oh yeah. Well, heck, gosh. I mean, athletes are athletes, right? I mean, when you're competing, and it doesn't. That goes to every level there is about competing and the athletes. I know what I went through to compete, and I know what you guys go through to compete. And so it's a mindset, it's dedication, it's hard work. All those things that are the things that make up the fiber of an athlete, right? And I know that you guys all have it as well.
Definitely. Okay, this is all I have today. Thank you for everything that you do for the athletes. And go Chiefs!
There you go, Daniel. Go Chiefs. I appreciate you, buddy.